History's darkest corners whisper of moments when the human mask slips, when fingers curl into claws, when screams become howls, when the civilized man vanishes into the shadows and something older, hungrier takes his place. These aren't fairy tales. They're bloodstained records, eyewitness testimony, and official reports too horrifying to dismiss. Governments burned the documents, witnesses disappeared, but the truth never dies. It just grows fangs and waits. Tonight, we unearth 5 documented cases where the line between man and wolf didn't just blur, it ripped apart. The stories that follow will make you lock your doors, because the real horror isn't that werewolves might exist, it's that they might still. Case 5. The Beast of Gévaudan, France, 1764 to 1767. In the misty highlands of Gévaudan, something monstrous went on a killing spree that would become legendary. This wasn't ordinary predation. The creature didn't just kill, but mutilated, decapitated, and partially devoured its victims. Over 100 attacks were recorded, with women and children making up the majority of the torn and mangled corpses left in its wake. Survivors described something that looked like a wolf, yet wasn't. Larger than any natural wolf, with reddish fur and disturbingly human-like eyes that seemed to gleam with malicious intelligence. The terror became so widespread that King Louis XV sent royal huntsmen and armies to destroy the beast. Multiple wolves were killed, yet the attacks continued unabated. The most disturbing theory suggests this was no ordinary animal, but perhaps the result of some aristocrat's twisted experiment, a hybrid creature deliberately bred and trained to kill. Just as mysteriously as it began, the slaughter suddenly stopped in 1767. To this day, no satisfactory explanation has been given for what truly stalked those French woods, leaving us to wonder if such a creature could appear again. Case 4. Peter Stumpp, the Werewolf of Bedburg, Germany, 1589. In 1589, the wealthy farmer Peter Stumpp's trial shocked all of Europe. Under torture, Stumpp confessed to being a werewolf for over 25 years, claiming the devil had given him a magical wolf belt that enabled his transformations. His alleged crimes were particularly gruesome: multiple murders, cannibalism, and even devouring his own son's brain. The court documents describe acts so vile they seem ripped from nightmare rather than reality. But modern scholars question Stumpp's confession. Was he truly a monster, or simply a victim of the era's witch hunt mentality? His considerable wealth made him a target for jealous neighbors, and the wolf belt central to his confession was never produced as evidence. Some historians suggest Stumpp may have been a serial killer who exploited werewolf folklore, while others believe he was an innocent man broken by horrific torture. Regardless of the truth, his execution was deliberately brutal, torn apart on the breaking wheel as a warning against consorting with dark forces. His case remains one of history's most infamous werewolf trials. Case 3. The Night Howlers of the Pawnee, Great Plains, 1821. Some medicine was never meant to be swallowed. In the winter of 1821, a band of Pawnee warriors returned from a raid against the Sioux with something worse than wounds. They brought back a curse. According to fur trader James Kipp's journal, the warriors had looted a Sioux shaman's bundle containing wolf teeth strung on gut and a black paste that stank of wet fur. The Pawnee scoffed until the next full moon, when something began prowling their camp. Kipp's account describes Voices in the dark, mimicking loved ones. Tracks that switched from paw to human mid-stride. A warrior found with his own hands buried in a gutted horse, sobbing. The Pawnee burned the bundle. The attack stopped. But years later, Kip wrote of meeting a lone Sioux hunter who whispered, "That medicine? It wasn't for changing men into wolves. It was for calling wolves into men." Case 2. Thiess of Kaltenbrun, the good werewolf, Berg. In 1692, an 80-year-old Livonian man named Thiess stood trial with an unbelievable confession. He was a werewolf. But unlike typical werewolf accusations, Thiess insisted his transformation served a holy purpose. He claimed that 3 times yearly, he and his fellow werewolves journeyed to hell not to serve Satan, but to battle witches and demons who sought to steal the community's harvest. If they failed in this duty, the crops would fail and people would starve. The baffled court ultimately released Thiess with just a warning, unable to reconcile his sincere demeanor with their expectations of lycanthropy as inherently evil. Thiess's case raises profound questions. Could some cultures have viewed werewolfism as a sacred gift rather than a curse? Might there have been entire packs of these benevolent werewolves operating across Europe? Thiess died peacefully years later, taking his secrets to the grave. His testimony suggests our understanding of historical werewolf beliefs may be dangerously incomplete. Case 1. The Hexham Wolf, England, 1904. 1904 in Hexham, where wolves had been extinct for 2 centuries, something uncanny began stalking the streets. Multiple witnesses reported seeing a large, wolf-like creature that attacked 2 girls, leaving distinct claw marks. Panic spread through the town as sightings multiplied, then abruptly ceased with no explanation. No animal was ever caught or killed. The mystery deepened in 1972 when 2 boys digging in a Hexham garden uncovered strange stone heads of Celtic origin. That same night, they claimed to have been chased by a half-man, half-wolf creature. While skeptics suggest the original sightings might have been an escaped exotic pet or mass hysteria, the Celtic connection raises eerie possibilities. Local folklore tells of ancient shapeshifters bound to the land, and some researchers speculate whether the Hexham Wolf was a spectral remnant of Britain's pagan past rather than a flesh and blood creature. Whatever it was, its brief appearance reminds us that some mysteries refuse to stay buried. These 5 cases span 4 centuries and multiple cultures, yet share disturbing similarities. From France to Latvia, Germany to England, and on to the Americas, the werewolf myth persists with remarkable consistency. But were these merely cases of mass hysteria, misunderstood mental illness, or clever criminals exploiting superstition? Or do they point to something more profound, some deep genetic memory of a time when the boundary between human and beast was less distinct? Perhaps lycanthropy was never just myth, but a distorted memory of some primal truth about human nature we've forgotten. As you go about your day in our modern, well-lit world, remember this: the wolf stories persist for a reason. In every culture, in every era, people have reported seeing that terrifying moment when man becomes beast. Maybe they saw something real. Maybe the wolves are still watching, waiting for the right conditions to return. If you enjoy stories of cryptic creatures, like and subscribe to Obscura Faction for more. And remember to never walk alone in the woods at night.